the message to those that have given up on elections?
I gave it an answer, but that's a very important question that I would want to have different perspectives about. So allow me, Council Mongwe, I invite you to respond to that question.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Very delighted to be here today. The very interesting questions that have come on the floor. Well, our message is that the people of Uganda need to know that if you do not participate in elections and in governance, then you lose the right to complain when things go wrong. And that's what we've seen. We've seen, even with the massive rigging and election fraud that we see in all these elections, we see that the voter turnout is very, very low. Honorable Narkola here, I don't remember what the exact percentage was, but it was below 20%. The people who turned out, below 20% of the people. So 14.4%. So you can imagine if, that is to exclude the ballot boxes which were kicked by regime thugs and all that. But even if we were to add all those, I don't think we would hit the 20% mark. So if 14% of the people come out to vote their leaders, how do you then wake up every day ranting on X that things have gone wrong? Look at what is happening now. These NRA people are having their primaries. People who have stolen iron sheets have come back with proceeds from that. They are now distributing money and all that. Money that they have stolen from these poor people, they are giving it out to different people, and these different people are ready, in some cases, to go and vote them again. So I think there has to be an awakening of the consciousness of the people. And for us as NDP, we talk about the protest vote. To say that the protest vote begins with a massive voter turnout. Our president has already said something. He says it in Uganda, but I also say it in English. If you do not come up to vote, and then the regime is able to mobilize, to pay people, to bribe people, and they come up to vote, and then tomorrow, why would you complain when things continue going south? We've been telling people that if you do not come up at your village to vote for an LC1 chairperson, and a village thief is elected, then don't start complaining tomorrow when your chicken begins to disappear. Because on the day when you were supposed to go out and vote, you chose to stay home. So that is our call, that this time around, the election is coming up. I think the president maybe deliberately did not mobilize you or charge you lawyers to come out and vote for him. He's unopposed in our party for the presidential flag bearer. I want this opportunity to call upon all lawyers, come and vote for him and support the National Unity Platform. Because the National Unity Platform is the only party that will guarantee social justice and fairness in the management of the affairs of this country. But the most important point is that on that day, prepare for voting day the way you prepare for important days in your life. We see people prepare for weddings as if it's a do or die. Lawyers prepare for court. You write in your diary, you say on this particular day, I have a very, very important case. I have a mediation. I have an arbitration matter to handle. So why don't you prepare for an election day the way you prepare for these big days? We've been telling the young people of Uganda, they normally prepare. When they hear that an international artist is coming to Uganda, they prepare for months. But when it comes to an election, someone goes and they see a long queue, they say, I will not go there. So, the only thing we did, for example, to get the victory for Honorable Narkola is because we protested. People protested. People stayed at polling stations and said we are not going to leave these polling stations until our results are announced. And the people followed those results to ensure that they are announced. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Comrade Jones, and please bear with us. I want to thank you for asking for the vote from me. And I reiterate that request. Guys, please vote for me. I'm your own. The other old guy is not your brother. I am. You'll bear with me, it would be very necessary for us to live here. It would not be characteristic of what we stand for if we live here only having heard male voices. So allow me to invite my Deputy President in charge of Northern Uganda and also the Senior Counsel, Mamadi Nazebiga, just give us a word from a woman to the women and to us the men.
Yes, that is my president, that is our president, the intergenerational, the iconic, the enigma. Yes, thank you so much, Your Excellency. You have my vote, and my address is specifically to the women. We are bearing the brand of this militarized, monetized space called Uganda. Our bodies have become the interview panels. Interview through sex. Yes, we have the evidence. I'm a member of FIDA, Uganda. Your dignity is being violated, even your own children and grandchildren. We should be so annoyed to reclaim our dignity, our identity as the women, especially the women lawyers. Run for all positions possible under the NUP. Defend, proclaim, recruit, and if they steal our votes, demand. As women, we can do it. By example, I am here. In my late life, going to be 64 this year. But here I am. Because I would like us to live a legacy like the Wangari Maathai.